June 2nd through August 19th, 1958. On April 2nd, President Dwight Eisenhower called for a civilian-run agency, National Aeronautics and Space Agency, based on the existing NACA, to oversee the U.S. space program. Although a former military commander, President Eisenhower believed a civilian agency would be more effective than assigning space to the military, where inter-service rivalries had already demonstrated a lack of result in launching a satellite. 12 days later, both the Senate and the House introduced versions of the NASA bill, with hearings beginning the next day. The Soviet launch in May of the nearly 3,000-pound Sputnik 3 provided strong incentive for the bill's approval. The House bill passes on June 2nd and the Senate version on June 16th. The biggest difference between the bills is the structure of the committee that would advise the agency's director, with the House version favoring a relatively weak committee versus the stronger policy board in the Senate version. Senate Majority Leader Lyndon B. Johnson chairs a bipartisan panel that produces a joint version of the bill, retaining the strong policy board, which President Eisenhower opposes. To break the impasse, the President and Lyndon meet on Monday, July 7th, with the latter recommending that the President chair the board. President Eisenhower agrees. Congress passes the final version of the bill, the National Aeronautics and Space Act, on July 16th, and President Eisenhower signs it into law on July 29th. On August 8th, President Eisenhower nominates T. Keith Glennon and Hugh L. Dryden, director of the NACA, to be NASA Administrator and Deputy Administrator, respectively. The Senate confirms them a week later, and they are sworn in at the White House on August 19th.